What if there was a lost episode of One Punch Man where Saitama suddenly got to new roommates? Well, get ready because we're diving into exactly that. The story kicks off right after that strange rivalry between the Esper sisters for Saitama's attention. Rumors have been flying around that both Fubuki and Tatsumaki are visiting his apartment a lot more often. Our scene opens with Geno's, ever the loyal disciple, walking up to Saitama's place. He stops dead in his tracks. There at the entrance are two extra pairs of women's shoes. One pair is elegant and stylish, the other small and simple. Confused and a little concerned, Geno's reaches for the doorknob. He cautiously opens the door, and the sight that greets him is pure chaos. Fubuki, the blizzard of hell, is on her knees, surrounded by cardboard boxes, happily unpacking a mountain of clothes. Meanwhile, her older sister, the tornado of terror, Tatsumaki, is floating near the ceiling, her green aura flaring as she meticulously installs psychic security barriers around the tiny apartment. And where's our hero in all this? Saitama is just sitting on his couch, holding a cup of instant noodles, with a completely bewildered expression on his face. He looks like he woke up in a different dimension. Geno's just stands there, his processors whirring, trying to make sense of it all. How did this even happen? Let's rewind a bit. It all started after the last major demon-level monster attack. The Hero Association issued a high-level alert, warning that a mysterious group of monsters was specifically targeting powerful espers. The moment Fubuki heard this, a light bulb went off. She immediately proposed a strategic relocation for her and her sister. And where's the safest place in the world? Right next to the strongest man alive, of course. She suggested they stay with Saitama for mutual protection. Tatsumaki, as you'd expect, just scoffed at the idea, calling it ridiculous and unnecessary. But deep down, she knew it was a good plan. She secretly wanted to be closer to the one person whose power she couldn't comprehend, so she reluctantly agreed, though she'd never admit it. Back in the present, Tatsumaki, with her arms crossed and floating midair, declares that she's only there to monitor Saitama's neighborhood for potential threats. She insists it has nothing to do with her own safety. Fubuki, ever the more practical one, chimes in, saying she contributed by helping with housework and maintaining the apartment. She's already picturing a nice, orderly life together. Saitama, who's been silent this whole time, finally mutters that he doesn't remember agreeing to any of this. But frankly, he is just too tired and apathetic to argue with two S-class level espers who have already made themselves at home. He just wants to eat his noodles in peace. And so, their bizarre cohabitation begins. A montage of their new life unfolds. Fubuki, determined to be useful, uses her psychic powers to sweep the floor, with dust bunnies and debris floating gracefully into a dustpan. Tatsumaki hovers right in front of the TV while Saitama is trying to watch his favorite show, completely blocking his view. Geno's is in full-on panic mode in the kitchen. Tatsumaki's powerful aura is so intense that it's making the pots and pans rattle, and she nearly crushed the refrigerator just by getting annoyed. Through all this escalating chaos, Saitama remains an island of calm, his blank expression never changing. It seems nothing can faze the man who can defeat any enemy with a single punch. The next morning, Fubuki decides to show her appreciation by cooking breakfast. She stands proudly over a perfectly cooked Japanese-style meal, confident that Saitama will be impressed. Just as she's about to present it, Tatsumaki zips in, takes a tiny bite, and immediately declares it tastes bland and that the seasoning is all wrong. Fubuki's face falls, but then Saitama takes a big bite, chews thoughtfully, and says, "It's pretty good. That's all it takes." Fubuki's face lights up with a triumphant smile, while Tatsumaki turns away, puffing her cheeks out in jealousy. The competition for his approval has officially begun. Not to be outdone, Tatsumaki decides she needs to prove she's far more helpful than her sister. Her idea of helping? She floats outside the apartment building, and with a massive surge of psychic energy, she lifts the entire building a few feet into the air to shake out the dust inside everything goes flying. Saitama, who was just about to enjoy his morning cup noodles, gets his hot water spilled all over the table. For the first time, his calm demeanor cracks. "Hey," he yells, "my noodle water." His priorities are, as always, perfectly clear. Tatsumaki quickly but reluctantly lowers the building, realizing she might have gone a little too far. Later that night, a rare moment of peace settles over the apartment. Fubuki is out on the small balcony, secretly practicing her psychic abilities, trying to push her limits and become stronger. Meanwhile, Tatsumaki sits alone on the roof, her small figure silhouetted against the moonlit city. Both sisters, in their own quiet moments, are thinking the same thing. They're thinking about Saitama. He's so different from every other hero, every other person they've ever met. He's peaceful, unbelievably blunt, and completely impossible to impress. He doesn't seek fame or power. And that's what makes him so infuriating and so fascinating. Suddenly, their thoughts are interrupted. A monstrous roar echoes from a few blocks away. A grotesque, multi-limbed creature is tearing up the street. Both Fubuki and Tatsumaki tense up, ready to spring into action. This is their chance to show their worth. But before they can even move, a blur of yellow and red zips past the window. In the next instant, Saitama is standing casually behind the monster. He lets out a lazy yawn, throws a half-hearted punch, and the monster explodes into a million pieces. Just like that, it's over. The sisters stare in stunned silence from the balcony, once again reminded of the absurd, incomprehensible gap in power between them and him. Back in the apartment, the atmosphere is a little different. The sisters, humbled by the display, actually thank Saitama for letting them stay. Saitama, while changing back into his pajamas, just shrugs. "I didn't let you," he says flatly. "You just showed up and started unpacking. I gave up trying to stop you." Tatsumaki actually blushes a little, a rare sight, and mumbles that she continued to protect the area as thanks. Fubuki just smiles warmly and says she's sure they'll all get along just fine. For a moment, it almost feels like a normal, functioning household, almost, but that feeling doesn't last long. As Saitama tries to get some sleep, he can hear his two new roommates arguing in the next room. "I should get the room closer to his. I'm the older sister." "No way, I need to be nearby to ensure his safety." "It was my idea to come here." Their psychic auras flare, making the walls tremble slightly. Saitama just lets out a long, weary sigh. He pulls his blanket up over his head, trying to block out the noise and the glowing lights. So the question remains, will the Esper sisters survive living with Saitama? Or will Saitama survive living with them? Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more what if anime stories.